Hello folks, Pipe Man 1861 here. Well, my wife will be home from her scrapbooking retreat in just about an hour or so. Yeah, about an hour exactly. So I figured I would make one last video. I've been wanting to make a video ever since I got this, show you some photographs out of this book that Mark gave me, Tobacco and Smoking Among the Blue and Gray by Ben Rappaport. I'm going to smoke my old CPF genuine French briar system pipe. Let's see. A little bit of molto dolce. Get this going, and I'll show you some of it. I've read a little bit in this book, and it's fascinating. I've really been enjoying it. Thank you again, Mark. There we go. Okay. So, tobacco and smoking among the blue and gray. This is the inside cover. All the officers sitting around with their swords and their pipes in their mouths. And just in case anybody's not super history savvy, this is all about, the time period is 1861 to 1865, so mid-19th century, the American Civil War. And there's some other books that this gentleman has written. I need to look into them. A tobacco source book, published 1972. A complete guide to collecting antique pipes, 1979. The Global Guide to Tobacco Literature, 1989. Museum of Tobacco Art and History Guidebook, 1996. Collecting Antique Meerschaums, Miniature to Majestic Sculpture, 1850 to 1925. That was published in 1999. The Arts of an Addiction, Qing Dynasty Opium Pipes and Accessories, 2005, and the European Porcelain Tobacco Pipe, 2014. So I think that's pretty neat. So I'll have to look into some of his other books. Here's the title page. That's a photograph of a original, and here's couple of Union sailors, it looks like, with their pipes. Let's see. Those look like a little bit like some of the artisan pipes they're putting out now. And I won't read it to you because it's quite long-winded. It's very interesting, but it is a little long-winded. I'll read the chapter headings. That might be interesting for you all. Let's see here. The amazing thing to me is, especially the original photographs, a lot of the guys were using their pipes as props in the image. They very clearly wanted their pipes in there. You know, they were probably their prized possessions. Because at this point in history, most people would not have had multiple pipes. They would have just had one. They would have smoked it until it fell apart, and then they would have bought another one, or made another one. So this is these are the chapters. Preface and introduction, of course. Then there's the setting. Tobacco during the war years, commerce, customs, and consumption. The sutler and his wares, camp life, prison life, Pipe making materials and methods. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. Civil War pipes at public auction. The Sorgan-free collection, going, gone. The Flaterman collection, still alive and well. Relic collecting, reenactments, and reproductions of period pipes, and resources for further research. So this is precisely what I needed. Let me see here. Here's a artillery battery. Several of those gentlemen have pipes in their mouth. This is funny. This is still the introduction. I will read this. Oh, excuse me, folks. Let's see. This is a soldier writing this. He was in Andersonville prison. He said, I stood it all, I guess all the abuse, until a cuss reached into my pocket and took my meerschaum pipe and a bag of tobacco, filled the pipe and lit it. Then I was mad. I had paid $8 of my bounty for that pipe. I can whip the condemned galoot that stole my meerschaum pipe. That's funny. Let's see. Mostly what I wanted to show you were the original pipes. We'll show you this. This is a Confederate officer. He has his tobacco pouch hanging off of his vest there. Probably silk with a leather lining. I made one just like that. I have it right here, as a matter of fact. I'll show it to you. It's a flat style instead of the rounded multi-sided, and I hang it off my vest at reenactments. And that's what I base that practice off of. Let's see. This is neat. I have seen these before. This, oops, careful. That right there, that is the Ridgewood Patent Smoking Set. Or smoking case. Part of it's missing. The pipe fit perfectly down in there. And let me see, it was patented in, I believe, 1863. The pipe fit inside that case perfectly, and the upper half of the case was the tobacco pouch. And they had their own special tobacco they sold with the pipe and case. It was finely chopped. You would push a button, and the tobacco would fall into the pipe, and you would release it, and it would cut it off at the top, so the pipe would be perfectly filled. You just pull it out, put it in your mouth, and light it right up. Don't know how well that worked practically, but I thought that was pretty neat. Let me see. 1862 is when that was patented. Let me see. Here are a couple of original tobacco pouches. A color photograph of them. See there? Patriotic. Both sides, you know. Let's see. Here's a pretty good, clear, original image of officers with their pipes. One guy, he looks like he has a Bing's favorite hanging out of his mouth, long billiard style. So that's interesting to me, and that looks like a Canadian. Of course, it's not, I can't really tell too terribly well unless I'm holding it in my hand, but they did indeed have that style of pipe back then. Yeah, here's a good picture of one too, another billiard. This is an illustration. So really, some pipes haven't changed a whole awful lot, which I find interesting. The method of construction has, of course, but let me see here. Here's a fancy pipe that was carved by a soldier, very much in the Bavarian style, and it has the carved wood stem. That's a pretty thing. Here's another, just a little apple shape. That's all hand carved. Let's see. Here's the pipe bowl of Private John C. Ryan that he hand carved. And most of these were carved out of mountain laurel root, which interestingly enough was one of the it was the material that the Yellow Bowl Company, or K. Woody, experimented with during World War II because they couldn't get briar because of the war. Let me see. Here's an interesting pipe. A hand holding it. I would love to know how that draft hole was drilled. Must have done it, but here's another one with the original stem. It's a horn. That one has a horn stem. Vulcanite was very popular at this time as well. The Paul shape was actually surprisingly popular at this time in history. So I think that's kind of interesting. Let's see. This is quite an impressive one here. There's some other views of the same pipe. That's a pretty neat one. Unusual shape. Simple to carve, I'll give them that. A couple more right here. And you notice most of these do not have their stems anymore. It just was not, the stem was the first thing, just like nowadays, you know, you chew through it or what have you. This one has a hardwood stem all the way up. I wish I had that kind of knack for carving scenes. I can guarantee you the first ones I attempt are not going to be anywhere near that impressive. Here's another one in the simple, little bit of a Dublin style there. And of course at this time none of these names existed for these things. So this is what these photographs of the originals are what I'm going to base my Civil War pipes on, my reproductions. I'm not going to try to precisely reproduce any one of these given pipes because these were strictly one-offs. So it's not really appropriate, in my personal opinion, to try to reproduce the exact pipe because you're not trying to be that one person, you know what I mean? But my pipes are going to be in the style, the general style of the time, and I'm going to make sure that any work I do on them and all the tools are going to be historically correct as well. That's my goal anyway. Don't know if I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to do my best. Well, anyway, there's one more page I'll show you. This one here was found at the Battle of Williamsburg, apparently in 1862, so it was a battlefield pickup. And so they carved that on the pipe found at the Battle of Williamsburg, May 5th, 1862. So that's pretty neat. But anyway, so this is an amazing book. I mean, if you ever get a chance to get a copy of it, I would highly recommend it. The history in this is incredible. And it's just fascinating to me to see the way that these guys made these. Often without any special tools other than a pocket knife, and maybe they went to the blacksmith and had him bore the chamber hole, you know, the drill bit, but that's about it. But anyway, folks, I better let you go. This has gone on long enough. This is Pipe Man 1861 saying goodbye, good luck, may the good Lord take a liking to you. I will see you again real soon, and as always, folks, happy smoking. Bye, folks.